Good morning, everybody. I think one of the most fun things when we study history is coming across an event that was a complete surprise to the people involved, yet turned out to be pretty important. And an event like that happened on this date, July 15, 1799, when some French soldiers who were working on a fortification in the little town of Rosetta in the Nile Delta in Egypt came across a stone written in 3 languages. And that stone, known as the Rosetta Stone, became the key to understanding Egyptian hieroglyphics.
Well, for many people, Egypt means the Sphinx, or it means the pyramids, or it means hieroglyphics. And before our story, nobody knew what these were. Were they pictures? Were they letters like an alphabet? Well, before Napoleon became emperor and was simply a successful general, he decided it would be good to conquer Egypt. And he did this partly because it's something Alexander the Great had done, and he saw himself as a great conqueror like Alexander. Another reason he did it was to put pressure on Britain. Britain had a worldwide empire. The Mediterranean was used on its way to India and other places in the east. So the French army landed near Alexandria, fought its way up the Nile, defeated the Egyptian army, and was generally quite successful on land. And all over Europe there was new interest in Egypt. By the way, the French army did not shoot the nose off the Sphinx. Napoleon brought with him experts of all kinds. Here you can see French doctors in an Egyptian hospital. And the specialists did lots of excavating and exploring and looking for artifacts and finding mummies and things. Well, our story happens up in Rosetta, east of Alexandria. It's called Rashid today. And the French army with Egyptian helpers were working at this fort, Fort Julian, working on a wall that needed some repair. And while they were working on the wall, they noticed a stone in 3 languages. And it was not uncommon to find stones from elsewhere. We're pretty sure people use things from nearby temples and such for building. It was in hieroglyphics at the top, another kind of old Egyptian in the middle, and ancient Greek at the bottom. So they took the stone to Cairo, actually showed it to Napoleon, and the experts started examining it. It's pretty sure it was from a larger stone that had come from a nearby temple. That's what most people think. Well, meanwhile, about a year before, the British Navy had defeated the French at the Battle of the Nile, also known as the Battle of Aboukir Bay. And the British leader of the Navy here was Admiral Nelson, who a few years later will win the Battle of Trafalgar against the French Navy. But by being defeated by the British, the French lost their supplies, and Napoleon ended up leaving. He split and left some of his soldiers and experts back in Egypt. So when the British army actually invaded, they were able to defeat the French, and they took the Rosetta Stone. There was some debate if they had the right to do that, but they took it, and they put it in the British Museum, where it's been on almost continuous display since 1802. It still hadn't been figured out yet, though, and this happened over the next 20 years when this guy, Jean-Francois Champion, figured it out. And this is a replica of the Rosetta Stone at his birthplace in France. It's big enough you can walk on it. So there are replicas of the Rosetta Stone all over the place, including in Rosetta itself, or Rashid. This is in the town square. You can buy Rosetta Stone clothing. You can get a very cool Rosetta Stone mug, or, for you fashion-minded, a Rosetta Stone tie. But this is one of these examples, isn't it, where there's a key to something that was found, and the rest, as they say, is history. So it's a pretty good story.